Okay, so for me, I've been feeling in my work, the work that I was doing, a real sense of a lack of meaning and a lack of purpose. And I felt that my work wasn't really aligned with who I was inside. So I've been thinking and searching for something different. And when I read the prospectus, there was something that I really connected to in that prospectus that felt, yeah, these people about what I want to be about. And they're doing the sorts of things that I want to do. So I felt a very strong pull through the prospectus.
Ditto. I followed my therapist into training, so did it on and off for quite a few years and loved it. And I've done a lot of other self-development, but psychosynthesis always had a foundations were always there, and just took care of me and my inner world and inner child, and really got me to experiencing loving myself. And that's just the start. But
yes, I think for me, I felt that I was looking at where I wanted to be in 5 years' time, or in my career, and the emerging question or need I felt in my work was that people really wanted counselling and advice, and I knew that I wanted to do counselling, but I was looking for a module that was not just counselling. It had to have a spiritual base to it. I've been teaching yoga and meditation for over 30 years, and so I was searching, and then someone said, why don't you try psychosynthesis? And I loved the name itself, synthesis. It's very much like yoga is, bringing everything into a unified whole, if you like. And then I just found this is absolutely perfect, because it does. It addresses the self, all the levels of self. So that's how I came to find psychosynthesis as being perfect.
Yeah, I feel like when I came across it, it had that extra level to it. Had a language that added a different depth to a lot of other courses, and I think that that's missing in the world, but also in a lot of trainings, is that the aspect of it that speaks to you as an individual and as someone like uniquely, instead of just someone going through any old training that anyone could do.
Yeah. So for me personally, I've looked into a lot of mindfulness and non-duality in Eastern traditions, but a lot of the time, if I tried incorporating that here, a lot of people switch off as soon as they hear the word Buddhism or Hinduism or something like that. It's like a switch just goes and they shut off. So I was so these people switched off, and I couldn't really give them advice as such. And also, there's not really that many recognised qualifications in anything like that. So when I actually found out about psychosynthesis, and I saw, oh look, it's got this psychoanalysis aspect, it's got sub-personalities, and it's also got the bigger picture of spirituality also integrated. I was like, perfect. So that's sort of where I was with it. Yeah.
That's my feeling, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, it brings everything together. Yeah. I've been looking for all these years, the personal development stuff, but also the deeper spiritual reality. Just merging, synthesizing, it really spoke like home to me. And there is this feeling here between us. We can already tap into that. It's great. Thank you.
I think my higher being, my higher self, tricked me into joining this course because I had a very banal, pragmatic reason for coming to do it, which was that it was an MA and would give me a qualification. I've spent a lot of years, nearly 40 years, involved with the work of Rudolf Steiner, anthroposophy, and I felt I needed a translation service for that very particular language. And I nibbled a bit, I have to say. I wasn't totally convinced, And the course is very experiential, and I had expected something more didactic. But the more I read, especially what I've read of Joan Evans, it's wonderful. It's amazing, and a lot for the future.
Okay. So fundamentals, guys. How was that? What's the experience?
Well, it stirred a few pots, I'd say, as well. Especially some of the tasks of drawing from the unconscious and those sort of practices. A few things were coming up that, because I've disidentified quite a lot, but that stirred another pot, and it was bringing up things from my childhood and stuff that I hadn't quite seen before. And then at first I'd draw a picture and I'd be like, I have no idea what that is. But after dwelling on it for some time, it started to make a lot of sense, especially with the body drawing of how my body was feeling at the time. And there was just this energy on the picture. And once I dwelled on it for some time, I could actually label it. So it's very interesting. A lot of stuff that I hadn't seen before or definitely practiced, I did do fundamentals.
I spoke briefly earlier about my sort of need for meaning and direction, and one of the things that I was really looking for was like a deeper emotional connection with the people who I worked with. And on the psychosynthesis, on fundamentals, I realised, I'm going to get this deeper emotional connection with the people I'm working with, and that came home to me in quite a powerful way in the course. The other thing that I really enjoyed about the fundamentals course was the opportunity to express creativity in ways that I'm not used to. So we did lots of stuff with crayons and pastels and stuff, and I just totally loved that. It was gave me an opportunity to express things about myself, and the way the images came up in the meditations, and then we were able to express those images through the crayons. For me, that was a really cathartic and healing kind of process for me. So it went well.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more gentler courses I've ever done. There's a lot of softness and gentleness to it. And even the hours counselling in the middle of it was beautiful as well, because it really brought up what I was dealing with that weekend in my life, and I was able to discuss it perfectly and deal with it. And it was just a very gentle drawing, expansive weekend, which kind of enrolled me in doing the MA.
Yeah,
it's quite nice.
I think the thing that deeply touched me during the fundamentals was how warm and welcoming the facilitators were. And I think I had this maybe uncertainty whether am I too young for this, but I saw how welcome they were to all age groups, and I felt like not just welcome, but like really almost like wanted there, because it doesn't matter how old or young I am, it matters that I wish to be present and I wish to bring myself to this work.
It was a very safe space, and just that growing sense that actually it's fine to just totally be yourself in any way, and feeling that from our tutors, and feeling it certainly within the group. It was just a very safe place, which is quite a gem in the world as it is now. And because of that honesty, I think, that we all shared, just feeling this tremendous bond with each one, and seeing that their unique contribution and their unique self as well, which helped you to realise your own unique self. That was the experience for me, mostly.
I thought it was amazing how each day really tapped into something really deep about who you were. And I think in our everyday lives it's so easy to cut that off. And I think those 4 days were actually quite sad, because they really made me realise how far away from myself I had been for so long.
Yes.
And you trick yourself so easily into thinking, I'm being really authentic all the time. But that distance became really clear to me. And yeah, after that weekend, I just felt so much calmer, and it made me realise how so much of the stuff I've been going through is because of that disconnection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was really clever how well designed it was to tap into
Very good, yes.
those parts of you.
It almost felt like the unconscious, which we get very good at being in that state, became conscious, and in that there was a certain sureness. So something happened. It's quite alchemical. It's not that easy to put into words, but there was a huge difference
Absolutely.
after.
Alchemical.